Hey guys, hope you guys are doing fantastic. Great having you guys coming back here. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for all my subscribers for your continuous support. It's been extremely busy with my work schedule for the last couple weeks. I had lots of stuff going on with work. That's why I haven't, sort of posting any videos since about probably a week ago, right? So I'm still in the very early journey of my channel. I'm loving what I do. I don't do a whole lot of editing, if any, as you guys know, but I just loving talking about my passion. And today, you know what? It's a beautiful day on Monday. I understand my most of my subscribers in Northern Hemisphere. So you guys still on the weekends. Hopefully you guys are having fun. You had a great relaxation on the weekend and you're ready for the next week. I hope everything is going well in your life. But today, with my time, I would like to probably take 10 to 15 minutes and talk about a topic that has been on my mind for a little while, and I sort of been thinking about a way to articulate the thing well enough to be sort of clear enough, crystal clear in terms of the message I'm trying to deliver. Um, Probably again for my young subscribers that just get into the hobby, get into the brand. And I'm gonna break this topic into a couple parts and hopefully can get some benefits out of it. Any questions, feel free to discuss in the comment section below. And let's get into it. So today's watch topic in my collection journey that I find very important to address early on is the topic of taking ownership of your collection. Okay, so the key words here is taking ownership of your collection. And I'm going to break this concept into two parts. Part number one, I'm just going to talk about what does it mean for me taking ownership of my collection. And then the second part is I'm going to talk about some of the some problems as young entries like myself that I find that I get to deal with in my life when it comes to collecting watches. Okay, so let's get started with it. Now, the first part is taking ownership of my collection means for me is not essentially is about ticking all the boxes that the watch is gonna look certain way. Variety is important, but it's not about you're gonna have a limited edition of a particular line, or your watch is gonna be at least worth $1,000, or your watch is gonna be at least new or mint condition. Of course, you prefer that. It's not about any of that. It's about feeling. For me, the key words about taking ownership. My collection is about having a relationship with that piece. It's about feeling sense of pride when you're picking that piece up, when you're looking at among all the other watches in your collection. And I'm going to give you an example of that, why I think that is important, because you see, a watch collection is about when you open up a box, your watch box, no matter what you're looking at, 3 watches, 6 watches, 12 watches, 18 watches, no matter what kind of watches they are. When you look at them, it's like when you're looking at another friend or multiple friend that you have in your box. When you look at each of them, you think about the memory and the story and the first instance of feelings and impression you had with that friend, old friend, a new friend, a friend that was long forgotten, and you want to reconnect. That's the way I look at my collection. It's not about price, and I'm gonna give you again an example of why I think that is important. You see, now in my early on, because I started collecting journey of Seiko's about 2 years ago, and that's when Seiko brilliantly executed the reinterpretation of 62 Mass. Of course, this is the SPB 147, the brown cappuccino dial, lovely watch. The whole line was hyped up extremely well. Of course, the product justifies the price tag. For me, this is one of the best bang for bucks, to be honest, in my collection. It does everything perfectly. It gives you the premium, it gives you the luxury feeling without costing too much, as a sort of still below that entry Swiss level, but at the same time give you a story, give you the design, give you the specs, give you the vintage feeling of that unique execution brilliantly done on the dial, the indices. Everything's beautiful about this watch. But again, you see, this watch cost the brand new about $1,000. I bought it as second hand, mint condition with the box and papers for about $650 2 years ago. Okay, I loved it. When I had this watch, of course, I remember it. I spent the money when I had my bonus for that quarter. So I've done really well with the business, and I thought, why not picking up a watch that represent really well when it comes to business environment. And I think I did really well. Divers, you name it, specs, dimensions, everything just makes brilliant sense when it comes to a sort of commercial and the business fittings. And I love the brand. And of course, I sourced this OEM bracelet, cost additional about $100. It is a brilliant watch. I bought this watch 2 years ago, spending about 650 plus the bracelet, about 750 bucks. But you see, the second part of that journey was I then picked this up. These, of course, we know this is the inspired by the Blackpound 50 Fathom in terms of overall design and design cues of it. But we call this Seiko 55 Fathom. The model number is SZ-SH55. This is the J made in Japan model. And this one cost me about 150 bucks. And I bought this watch after this one. And can I give you a conclusion? When it comes to my shirt wearing, if I'm attending to offices and having a couple meetings here and then, I'm not as scared, or I'm probably more intent to pick this Seiko 5 up rather than that SPB 147 62 mass. I'm loving you, but there's no disrespect for a watch that I love that costs only, 25% or 1/4 of it. I'm feeling proud when picking this up because I remember the story and the journey of the first time I identified this watch online. I start looking at the history of it. I know it's only a Seiko 5 100-meter water resistance, but something about the design, something about the look and the story that captured my attention. And in the end, it took me months to find a mint condition of this particular watch, and I'm loving it. I don't feel this watch, even though its cost only 1/4 of what this SPB 147J does, but I'm not disrespecting this. I'm feeling exactly the same equal sense of pride when I'm picking this one up. This is not a diver. This is a diver. This doesn't have a sapphire crystal. This does. This is well discontinued. It's going to be hard for you to find one. You can still buy them brand new. But you see, guys, you see the conclusion I'm trying to make here? You want to make sure there's a story, there's an emotional attachment behind each of your pieces. So when you're picking them up, you know they are all treated equal. They are part of your collection. And they're all part of your collection that are worth your time and opportunity putting on your wrist. I'm loving this piece, okay? So guys, as you see, that's the point I'm trying to make here. It's not about a price. It's about the journey and the value that you associate with that piece. And design of the watch. The second example I just touched briefly is I purchased the Sharp 033 first before I purchased this. We call this baby Rolex Killer, extremely popular watch, very hyped up. If there's any news out there that I sort of heard rumors, actually it's not a rumor. I had a conversation with the boutique assistant manager in the service departments because I was not happy about the dial. There's a couple of specs on the dial, and I wanted to get them removed. And in the end, the watchmaker from Seiko said, because of how the position of the specs and all that, the only way they can improve the dial is by giving me a new dial of this XS-NX79J. And about a week after that, very lovely lady. She helps me tons when it comes to my Seiko collection journey. She called me and she said, Felix, sorry to report, but there's actually no new dials for this particular watch that Seiko makes, so we can't offer you the exact same dial. We can give you a different colorway if you want it made in Japan, of course, but we can't give you this anthracite dial because we don't make it no more. And we had that conversation about a year ago. Okay, so guys, just some additional information for you. If you guys are on the fence about this, if you can find a mint condition or even one on Amazon, I recall last night I've seen capture it, buy it. It's a very well worth piece. Sorry, dragging myself off the topic, but I purchased the Sharp 033 before I did this. They are not in the same quality. Sharp has the sapphire crystal. The baby Rolex Killer does not. Finishing not on the same par, not to mention the price. I bought this again for about 450 USD. I purchased these for $100. Again, 1/4 of the price. But does that mean every time when I pick up the baby Rolex Killer, the SNX-X79J, should I be feeling shamed? Should I be feeling that I have something that I'm less proud than having the pride in my collection and rotation? Because the movement doesn't hack? or is it because it simply costs nothing compared to some of the other pieces in the collection? Of course, Sharp is a beautiful watch, but hang on, guys. Again, like I said, it's about the enjoyment, it's about the story when you had this watch in front of you. For me, I have no problem picking this up if I'm doing a grocery shopping. I'm just running errands here and there because I know it is a very lovely piece. Okay, so hopefully that concludes my topic. So the part of it is about feeling the price, sense of relationship with each piece that you have in your collection. And guys, just going back to the divers, I actually picked this one up. I actually picked up the SKX after the 62 Mass. They're all divers, but again, it's about the relationship you had that was designed. You love how this will come about into your knowledge, when it comes to Seiko collecting journeys, and you should feel really proud about adding them into a collection because they are all awesome Seiko watches. Okay, that's my first part. The second part of my topic today, taking ownership of collection, is because I'm not sure about this, but I'm married with a kid with other commitments financially, things in life. I'm not sure about you, but I know I have subscribers that out there that having a relationship with your spouse. Whether you're a female or you're male, I do have female subscribers too, right? But again, everybody's made equal. We're having different situations and different scenarios in life. You might have, financial commitments towards your student loan. Maybe you have a financial commitments to your car or any other bigger things in life, for a mortgage, for a house loan. No matter what that is, if you're in a relationship and you're collecting watches, means you keep spending money that into the hobby. Your spouse or your wife, it is going to be a common thing of having. I'm not going to say there's criticism or restrictions of having spending money on the watches, but it's okay for them to come around and says, "Hey, why are you buying so many watches that look exactly the same?" Because for them, they don't have the same level of understanding of you when it comes to your collection. They don't have the inspiration or aspiration to add more than to the watch that they wear, if they wear any watch at all. So just be okay, knowing that it's okay for your spouse to come around and saying, "Stop buying them. You're buying everything mediocre." I'm just gonna use that words, right? You're being silly. You're buying watches that is because sort of in the social stands when it comes to a watch that they know out there in their workplaces, Omegas, Rolexes that they hear in the stores. They're you're buying Rolex, you'll never lose money on it. Buy me a Rolex, that kind of stuff. So just with that understanding that it's okay for them to come about and criticize you. Stop buying watches. Stop buying so many. Stop buying the same watches. It's okay for them to say that because they don't possess the same inspiration and understanding of your collection. So for me, the way that I deal with it, actually I deal with it with full honesty. I simply said to my spouse, I said, "Look, I've great passion for this, just like probably you have towards your shoe collecting journey, right? Or your dresses or your t-shirts or your jeans, or maybe similar to someone that in your life that been collecting stamps in the past." The passion about the hobby is about that you be able to articulate and talk about the material things that you have and somehow translate that into a positive energy that is going to make an impact on your life. I think that's what a healthy passion is all about, right? So whether it's collecting watches, you're collecting stamps, you're collecting books, or you're collecting cars, you're collecting anything in life, if you can transform that collection into a into a naturally healthy, positive spirit, and that's gonna have a good impact on your life. And I think you should do it. Of course, do it with a sense of pride. Do it with a sense of, you know, organized way, not to hurt your financial capacity to meet other ends in your financial commitments. Then do it, guys. Be proud. Have a sense of pride. Don't be afraid. Don't hide them away. Put them in a nice box. Be okay to talk to your spouse about it. Okay, so that's the problem that I see when I encounter with my other subscribers and a couple of friends that watch collection journeys. No matter what they buy, it seems like there'll be a common thing where their spouse having an opinion and saying about stop buying the watches. They don't mean a thing. You can sell those watches, maybe get a Longjing or save up more to buy a second-hand Speedmaster or a Megan or a Rolex, and that's okay too if you guys want to do that. But again, you just gotta be honest with yourself, look yourself in the mirror, and every time we look at your watches, do you feel a sense of satisfaction? Do you feel a sense of pride and enjoyment? And if you do, you should keep doing them. And if you don't, then maybe relook at your strategy and change up the things you do. Okay, guys. So hopefully my message today has been beneficial to some of you, and hope that it helped. Any questions? Feel free. Anything you want to talk about, your view on the collection, taking ownership of what you own, feel free to chime in the comments below, and very happy to join the discussion. Okay, guys. Again, hope you guys have a great week coming up, and no doubt I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye, guys.